Hello, my friends. It's Jonathan at the Piano Lesson. Merry Christmas to all. And I thought I'd talk today about the Christmas song, the actual Christmas song, written in 1945. 1945 by Robert Wells. Robert Wells, who was became a famous TV producer, and Mel Torme, the great jazz singer and musician. Mel Torme was mostly known as a singer, but he played drums great, piano, arranged, did all kinds of stuff. And very, very interesting tune, which I'll talk about. Also, I might throw in a couple little interesting tidbits, little fun facts, hacks. Everyone calls them hacks now, right? Easy ways to do difficult things. There's no such thing, really. An easy way. It's you change your perspective on things, right? The more perspectives you have on something, the easier it becomes. If you only have one perspective on something, then it becomes more difficult because we're more rigid-minded, right? The more flexible we are in our approach, the easier things are. So simplification is not easy. It's just actually not simplified at all. It's actually it's like saying I'm going to simplify a car by taking the engine out. It just doesn't. I mean, yes, I suppose so. And I hope I can get through this. I have a little cold, and I've been sneezing all day, so I hope I don't have to do that. So let's get into this. And the Christmas, also known as chestnuts roasting on an open fire. And there's only one other song that I know of that starts in a similar manner, and that's Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And why do I say that? Because it starts with an octave. This song is chestnuts roasting on an open fire, but it's that octave. The only other song I know is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's the only other song I know that starts with an octave. So it's a little trick to remember what an octave sounds like. And this one kind of goes down to the very next note. This goes does a little scale down, and then it goes up a sixth. So it's a scale. That's really all it is. And again, I would much rather just let you hear these pieces and kind of teach them and talk about them. You can find the music on your own, but this is what you're not going to get from the music, So up an octave, line note, space note in the key of E flat, line note, space note, that's a sixth. And by the way, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, way up high. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. I wonder where they got that from. I don't know which song was written first, Somewhere Over the Rainbow or this. Let's look that up for a second. Let's take a quick gander. I'll look at Mr. Google and just find out when was that written. Somewhere Over the Rainbow song. I love Wikipedia. I know other people don't, but I like it. Let's see. 1939. So that song came first. So who knows? Maybe this song was all in the air at the time, and so this has a little up a sixth, stepping down scale, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. And now B natural, very interesting, changes key. Folks dressed up like Eskimos. Isn't that interesting? Changes key to G major. It starts in E flat, and it goes up a major third. And then it does then it goes to G flat. E flat, G, G flat. That's the basic song. I'll play it one more time. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and G major folks dressed 2-5-1 up like Eskimos. Now, I will say this, in the music here, they have a chord which I think is a bit suspicious. That's why I don't really necessarily recommend one particular piece of sheet music over another. But you know, let's talk about the chords for a second. 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. In this music, instead of the 2-5 chord, B flat, they have the tritone substitution, E7, or here they have E9 flat 5. Why E9 flat 5? Well, the flat 5 would be the melody note. That's the alternative. E flat major, C minor, F minor. They have E7, E flat major, 2, 5, 1, up a sixth. So that would be, you know, probably 6-9, right? I mean, some kind of a 6-9 chord. And then 2, 5, 1, and A flat, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat 7. Okay, we're going 2, 5, 1, and A flat, and this is the 4 chord in A flat, D flat 7. Now, they have a kind of a suspicious chord here, and the suspicious chord is A minor 7 flat 5. Yuletide carols, A minor 7 flat 5, right, A flat 7, G minor, A minor 7, D7, 2, 5, 1 in a minor key, but it goes to major. It's kind of a deceptive cadence. I'm going to say that there are some other chords I might use. 2, 5, 1, A flat, major 7. Now, instead of D flat 7, I think that's the tritone substitution for G7. And then C minor. And then maybe D7 to the G minor. That's another way to do it. C minor, but it goes to the relative minor of E flat, which would make a lot more sense. D flat 7 and E G7 would accomplish the same thing. Yuletide. Now, I could have A flat 7 here. A flat 7 is the tritone substitution for D7. But somehow I don't quite like it as much. So, I sort of also like this descending bass line. That's a possibility too. Yuletide carols being sung. I might, if I was going to use the A flat chord, I might delay it. C minor, Yuletide carols. So this is B in the bass, descending. That's A flat major 7. I don't know if I'd use that. G minor, A minor 7 flat 5, D7, G major, 2, 5, 1 in E, G flat, 2, 5 in E flat. So F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat, and it does it again. So that was how many measures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which you would anticipate, right? Another 8 measures. Up a major 6. Notice there I did A7. That's the tritone substitution for E flat 7. A flat, D flat. They have the music. And then, so we have to decide what we're going to do there. If you're in A flat major 7, I personally like the G7, and I like the C minor. I like 5 or 6. Tiny, tiny tots. I like that. With their eyes, G minor, all aglow. A minor 7 flat 5, D7, will 3 6 2 5 1. G minor, C7, F minor, B flat 7, E flat 6. So that's A again, right? So 8 plus 8. A again, 8 plus 8, right? And then we have the bridge, B. Let's see here. Yes. They know that Santa's on his way. That's nice chromaticism. And that's B flat minor 7, E flat 7, 2 5 in A flat. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. Notice the second time it doesn't do that chromatic. First time it does it. It makes sense. A flat, much different. A flat major 7. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. Now, I used a different chord than they had in the music, but let's go back for a minute. And every mother's child, 2 5 1 in G flat, A flat minor 7, D flat 7, is gonna spy. Now, they don't have it written in there, but that A flat is the 9th in the chord. So G flat major 7 with an added 9th. 2 5 1 to see if C minor, and that F is really an 11. So, and they did add that in the music, C minor 11. Now, the next chord they have is B7 flat 5. Reindeer really know how. Why flat 5? Because of the F natural. And why B? Because that's the tritone substitution of F. Okay? So if you have a dominant chord, again, you can substitute another dominant chord, a tritone away. It doesn't quite matter if you modify it slightly, whether it's, flat 5 or sharp 5 or sharp 11, whatever that is, but that's the rationale for doing it. So just know, really the basic chord is C minor, F. That's really the chord. D, up a 4th, and then down a 5th. We don't know how to fly. And the last 8. So that was 8 measures. So 1 6 2 5 5 1 2 5. And interestingly enough, in this music, for some weird reason, they looks like they may have written the wrong chord. They wrote E flat. I don't know why. That's clearly wrong, unless I'm reading it wrong. But they wrote E flat in there. So you see all the mistakes in music. It's ridiculous. I'll do that one more time. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids of 1 to 92. I guess D natural. Although I would play C minor there. They have A minor 7 flat 5, and I don't like that. Although it's been said, A flat 7, that's fine. I mean, you can do that. Many G minor times many A minor 7, A flat 7. The words are, although it's been said many times, many ways, Mary. Now, A flat 7, of course, that's D7, flat 9, possibly. But it sounds a little better with the tritone substitution. Oh, Mary. Christmas to you. I think it's just a brilliant tune. Again, it starts in the key of E flat, then it goes to the key of A flat, then you have this kind of a deceptive cadence if you consider that going to D flat. See, this is the interesting thing. I'll play this part here. If I go right to the G7, it's a bit jarring to hear that 5 of 6, to hear that 5 of the relative minor. So it's much more artful to use that tritone substitution. D flat 7. See here the subtlety. These are things you have to experiment with. I'm not crazy about the A minor 7 flat 5. I don't even like that root movement. You know, it's a root movement of a major third. It sounds also jarring. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's much nicer as a counterpoint. Now, if you wanted to eventually use that A minor 7 flat 5, it's possible. You know, that might work very nicely there. Remember, A minor 7 flat 5 is the same as C minor 6. All right? So you have to think about these chords a little bit and don't take them too literally. You know, that's A minor, C minor 6. That sounds fine too, but I think the minor 6 is a bit severe sounding on its own. I wouldn't quite go to the minor 6 right away. I think the minor 7 is better. How's that? That's a little nicer, isn't it? These are some of the subtleties that you're not going to find in a piece of sheet music, that you just have to listen to. And then it goes to G major. So relative minor, and then G minor, key of G minor, up a major third again, and then the G major. So it goes to the parallel major. Let's recap that again. E flat, A flat, C minor, G minor, G major, G flat major, and then back to the E flat. Sounds like a classical piece. If I was going to do an arrangement of this, I might strip out a lot of the 2 5s and a lot of the passing chords and substitutions, and I might just do these really stark, key changes, really just it sounds more Christmassy in a way. Sticking that 5 of the dominant chord, it's too sudden. You have to have that. You have to kind of soften the blow of that dominant chord to get back to E flat. This. That smooths it over, compositionally. When you hear this substitution, that's the E7, the substitution for the dominant chord, it sounds a little bit sadder than if you do the 5. The 5 is just a bit, more optimistic sounding. This is a bit, I've had too much eggnog, of 6 is a bit too much too. I like that. 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3, and you go to A flat. That sounds pretty good. Or you could still delay the A flat even farther. Right there, the A flat could work there too. You could delay it, or you could just play it on count 3. See, that wouldn't, A minor 7 flat 5 has to be there. Not A minor 7. That wouldn't work. G minor, C, C7, F minor, B flat, E flat. See, up earlier in the piece, you could conceivably play an A minor 7 instead of A minor 7 flat 5. You know, tiny tots with their eyes all on A minor 7. See the difference if you played A minor 7 there instead of A minor 7 flat 5. It's again, it's subtle, but if you use A minor 7, it prepares the ear for the G major maybe a little too much. It's a very clever little tune. Here, we'll just kind of play through the whole thing here for a minute. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I'm using a lot of shell voicings. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. That's a suspension, resolution, a little classical. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy. That should be G flat. I'll do that again. Mother's child is gonna spy to see that reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple praise from kids, 2 kids from 1 to 92. Although I think it's a D natural. So it's interesting. It's a D flat chord, but although I hear D natural in the melody, I don't hear D flat at all. That's a wrong note. Although, see, that's a clue that right there, you don't want a D flat there, really. You want a G. Although, and maybe the second time around, as an ending, it would be more appropriate to have that really demonstrative dominant chord, the 5 of 6. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Now at the end, many ways. No, I don't think so. Many ways. I kind of hear a C7 there. Although It's been said many times, many ways. Mary. I kind of hear a sharp 9 there instead of this. I really don't hear that. Merry Chris. Sharp 9, C7 sharp 9, not minor. Christmas. That's kind of limp. Christmas. F7 to you. Yeah. So I don't know, just a little fun exploration. It's a 32 bar tune. This is kind of how I go through a tune and poke around. I turn over rocks, and I listen to chords, and I try to get the best sheet music I can, but you can just pull your hair out after a while, and you can listen to records, and of course, and but you can see that sometimes it's appropriate to use substitute chords, and you might use them at certain moments, not others. You might be mindful of the fact that you're at the end of the piece, not the beginning. Anyway, that was fun, and I hope you had a good time, and happy holidays, and Merry Christmas to everyone, and to everyone that's commenting, and to my buddy Francesco out there, and I'll catch you guys later. This is Jonathan Piano Lesson. Bye-bye.